And welcome to the National Incubation Center. For those who are coming for the first time, thank you for being here with us. And for those who are coming again, please do continue coming, and we hope to continue doing such sessions for you. Today, we have a very interesting session for you if you want to understand more about IT-enabled services available for startups from the PSEB. We have Syed Ayub Shah, Chief Industry Development Officer from the PSEB here today, who is going to be sharing tons of insights. I've had a little peek at this presentation, lots of data, lots of insights, so make sure to stay for the entire session. At the end of 4:45, we will move to the cafe where we'll have tea, snacks, and we'll have some networking. So if you're looking to take your startup to another level, understand about tax incentives, what PSEB is doing these days, and how they can help your startup, well, you're at the right place today. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome Syed Ayub Shah. Sir, welcome today to the NIC.
Let me just... Is it equal to Islam? Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I can have a sorter. It's working. With the Almighty's name I start, in whose power rests our lives, life here and hereafter. And we seek His mercies and guidance for our endeavors. And I think He is the only one who can bless us the most. With this belief system, I'm saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I start. My name is Syed Muhammad Ayub Shah. This is a little brief about me. I've been through a number of assignments around here in Pakistan and abroad. This is about my education from inland and abroad. It's not to boast upon myself, but just to tell you that you ought to listen to me carefully at least, right? It's a warmer session, right? We have a lot of challenges, you know. I don't know how to call it. People call it to be a bad luck to have born in third world countries, countries with a lot of challenges. But if you believe me, it's an opportunity to be born at a place where you have a lot of challenges, because by fighting against those challenges and getting to the level of excellence that you win. And the taste of winning is more in the places where you have more challenges. And the taste of winning is less where you have more successes. So we are lucky to have been born in Pakistan. This is not a place of challenge otherwise. I just started with telling you that, you know, it's good to be at a place where you have more challenges because you have more opportunities to learn and excel. And a small success is a success, or maybe small success is the biggest success. But then, you know, when you are born in Pakistan, you're lucky because you're at a balanced place. They are not as challenging as people are in Africa. You know, there are countries where the people don't have the corn and people don't have the bread to eat. And it's not as thriving with other moral challenges as the first world countries. I don't want to name a country. So we are at a balanced place. And sometimes I'm a student of the statecraft also. And I know how the governance and statecraft works. Sometimes when you go into the deep thinking and say how or where Pakistan stands, you will realize that this is one of the most opportunistic places to be with. There's nothing wrong with Pakistan from the geolocation point of view, from the potential point of view, from the opportunities point of view. There is something wrong with the people of Pakistan. There is something wrong with us. We failed to exploit the opportunities that were at our hand. We failed to pay back to our nation. And the example is, because I'm about to take you on to a thought process. Example is that had we all worked for the common good, for the country over the last 70 years, today, all of us would have been enjoying better social security. Had we all worked for the country for the last 70 years, today we all would have enjoyed Pakistan in totality and everywhere. Since we worked for the smaller aims and smaller objectives for ourselves, well, some of us enjoy the thriving, which again is majority in Pakistan, but some of us are unfortunate and there is no common good at the higher level. So the social security level, which is low in Pakistan, is because we never worked for it. We never worked for the people. We never worked for our colleagues. We never worked for our country. We never worked for our companies that we are serving in. We never worked for the environment that we are living in. Let me take you to a cafe outside this building and you'll see a lot of trash out there being thrown by the people who ate at that place. So there's nothing wrong with Pakistan. There is something wrong with the people. Well, we need to understand what is that wrong and we need to eradicate that wrong in order to be successful. And let me tell you, can you just imagine, out of your knowledge and out of your exposure, which is the most pertinent as the best book available to us for reading and for learning? If there is any single book that has survived for 1400 years, is applicable across the entire globe and entire cosmic area, has not changed, is impacting, is for every language, is for every man, is for every color, and is for every creed, that is Quran. And what does it say? It says, be honest. वो कहता है, सच बोलो. Success lies in truthfulness. Success lies in honesty. Success lies in hard work. Success lies in giving to the others. Success lies in working for the others. We don't believe that cosmic book and we believe each other nonsense and say, kill that gentleman because you got to get his money. Is this the intelligent way? So we have not lived in an intelligent manner in order to be successful. Had we lived in an intelligent manner, and the most intelligent manner is to give away, to give to the others, to contribute to the success of the others, to help others succeed. That is the right and intelligent way, which the book says, but we never followed it. So, and here are the challenges. When the world has come to the information age, there is nothing hidden now. If I am thinking that nobody knows here about me, well, I am at fault, I am wrong. Just pay $10 on a site, a CIA site, and you will come to know what amount of money is lying in my individual bank account as of today. How many calls I made today, where I have been all the day long today. And for the last couple of years. So this data is available for just $10. So this is an information age, meaning you cannot hide yourself. You cannot pose to be somebody else and in reality being somebody else. You cannot deceive others. This is the magic of information age. A magic is in the offing. The world is transforming. The technologies are transforming, and how they are transforming, I'll be talking about them. But I'm starting with the bad word, that since we never worked in the right direction, the Pakistanis never worked in the right direction, since we never invested into the common good of all, since we never contributed to each other's success, this is the result. Indian CEOs are dominating all the big 5, 10, 20, 30, and 100. So if the Google's CEO is an Indian, do you think he will give space to a Pakistani unless it is a compulsion? Because he has been taught and brought up in a manner whereby he has been told that Pakistanis are our enemies. And we have posed to be such. Majority have been, and then our institutions, our universities here, our schools here, they are not producing leaders. We are producing what in our universities and our schools? Sarkari mulazim. The moment a child is born and he is raised and he crosses over secondary school level, There's one consideration in the mind of his father and mother. इसको कोई सरकारी नौकरी मिल जाए. चपरासी लगा दो. I know a graduate from Canada was a naib qasid in one of the sarkari department in order to retain a sarkari house. So we never invested to produce CEOs. In our schools, even today, we are not working to produce leaders. We are not telling our children to stand upright and have their own opinion, have knowledge, and decide. Our curriculums at the university levels are not designed to seek opinions. It is all rata that we have to rattle out. Even in the social sciences side, even in the management science, you cannot express your opinion in the paper. So we could not produce leaders. We could not produce CEOs. We could not produce entrepreneurs. We could not produce successful people who can guide the way, who can show us the path. And this is happening. Negative branding of Pakistan, we all know. No global big in Pakistan. There is no citable single big office. IBM was here with 1,000 number of employees. It left. Google is not there. Meta, Facebook is not there. WhatsApp doesn't care for you. And you talk of any other big. Say Tesla is not here. The Boeing is not there. The Airbus is not there. You talk of any big from across all the sectors. They are not there in Pakistan. And these bigs, which we call as multinational companies or multinational entrepreneurs, are very important. If I go, and I keep saying, if I go and stand at the Eiffel Tower with a big loudspeaker and keep saying that I'm hell of a guy, will somebody believe me? Nobody will believe me that I'm a hell of a guy. If I tell them that I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, they will not believe me. Why should they? Or even at the Empire State Building, no, that's the highest building in the world. I mean, not the highest, but, second or third highest. So if I stand at the top of the Empire State Building and say, I am the guy needed in the New York, will they believe me? They will not believe me. But all of a sudden there comes in a French Gora and he said, he's the guy that we need. Everybody will believe him. It's the other man's mouth that works for you and not your own mouth. If I keep saying Pakistan is this and Pakistan is this and Pakistan is this, I've been saying around the world, but then what? They all know the reality. I said, like, you cannot hide yourself in the information age. You cannot hide as an individual. And I gave you example. If anybody has a doubt about knowing his location or his bank account or his, balance in that, just come to me, pay me $10 and I'll tell you. This is the reality in the modern world. So somebody needs to say that Pakistan is the place. Lack of quality and competitiveness. Okay, we can forget about all these three. Come what may, that's not matter. Can we work on quality and competitiveness? Again, this is a world of information. You produce a quality product in Pakistan with all that negatives, it sells. Meta bought the right size app of a boy in the nest for $35 million. It is the quality that matters, competitiveness that matters, even today. So you can overthrow those negatives, three negatives at the top, through your quality and competitiveness. Quality speaks for itself. Had we work on the quality? How many of you or us sitting here are enrolled in some kind of a course or in some kind of a learning program? Any of us? Can you raise hands? Very bad. Just see, not even 3%, not just 3 or 4 persons are enrolled. We should always be enrolled into a program to learn something, to learn a new language, to learn a new idea, to share ideas. How many of us are reading some new book or some new articles or researching on an area? Maybe very few of us. So we're not investing in quality also and competitiveness also. Competitiveness comes when you come to me with a problem and I give you a solution that works. It is not the quality that I tell you the story. You come to me with a problem and I keep telling you the story and narrating you the story and you go back and you ponder upon the story and your problem is not solved. That is not competitiveness. That is not quality. Competitiveness is everybody comfortable with myself talking in English? Or you want me to talk in Urdu? Anybody for Urdu? Mix? Okay. Oh, yes, I can talk in Persian, Arabic, Pashto, French, and Croatian also a little. So you can tell me, spasiba. Oh, Pashto, I'll talk something in Pashto. Sana sabu em Pashto ke. So the Pashto wala, can you raise your hand? Or else I'll be talking in Pashto also. And Punjabi may be bolunga, so just rest assured. But please learn it, let's make this session success. I've come here spending my time and you're here. Let's learn something about it. If nothing else, a changed idea and changed personality will do my job. I've come here wholeheartedly. मैं कहीं भी ऐसा नहीं तो पैसे लेने हैं ना कोई और करना है खिदमत करनी है तो खिदमत इसलिए करनी है कि सदका जारिया हो right you also will carry this message and you will go and deliver this message again so we all must invest in ourselves in order to have quality and competitiveness it will pay हमने quality में invest ही नहीं किया our sweeper is not doing the quality कभी आपने road machine देखी है वो झाड़ू लगाती है road machine we have bought that machine for millions of dollars but instead of sucking that dust in it throws it out. So what a quality and competitiveness at the bottom level and top level में भी आप जाके देख लें your professors, your doctors, your scientists, head of the institutions, they are not of the quality. जब quality ही नहीं होगी एक बीमार भैंस से सही दूध कैसे निकलेगा एक डिफेक्टिव मदर इंस्टीट्यूशन से गलत यूनिवर्सिटी से सही बच्चा कैसे ग्रेजुएट होगा लीडर कैसे निकलेगा so we have ma'am you have hit something all right and then is low end marketing and lack of global networking how many of us have friends around the world how many of us very few it's an information age you all must have friends from across the world कभी दुनिया के लोगों की जाके सुने तो सही मैं एक मुल्ला हूं बट जब मैं यूएस में पढ़ने गया और मुझे उधर पता लगा कि मैं इस्लामिक सोसाइटी ऑफ अगस्टा का स्पोक्स पर्सन हूं और मैं एक इंटरफेथ हार्मनी के सेशन में गया जहां यहूदी भी बैठा था जहां ईसाई भी बैठा था और जब उनसे बात हुई तो मुझे पता लगा इंसानियत पहले है दीन तो बात की बात है हम तो यहां गले काट रहे हैं इट इज वेरी वेरी माय फर्स्ट ever I was a young boy when I was administrator at Croatia in a transitional administration. I was serving in the army and then since I was at the top, so I was sent there as a captain and I served there मैंने वो इलाका command किया for more than a year's time. मैंने first time समझा when I landed back in Pakistan after my tenure of duty completing, believe you me, मुझे अल्लामा इकबाल की बात समझ आ गई मुझे तब पता लगा उससे पहले भी पढ़ता रहा but that was an hodgepodge. This is when I commanded. I was administrator of that area. I was commissioner of the Brania division. So जब मैंने उस इलाके को 1.5 साल चलाया और समझा उनका कल्चरल सिस्टम और जब मैं पाकिस्तान वापस आया तो मुझे पता लगा कितना जरूरी है पाकिस्तानी के लिए बाहर जाके रहना अकल ही नहीं आती यहां तो हम अंधों की तरह पागलों की तरह एक दूसरे से लड़ रहे होते हैं एक दूसरे की टांगे काट रहे होते हैं वहां जाके पता लगा नेशंस एक दूसरे को कैसे सपोर्ट करती हैं सिर्फ क्रिकेट पे एक नहीं होती वो रोज एक होती हैं वो वर्क प्लेसेस पे एक होती हैं दे केयर फॉर ईच अदर दे कंट्रीब्यूट टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर दे इन्वेस्ट इन ईच अदर एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे आर नेशंस एंड वी आर अ मॉब राइट सो द नेगेटिविटी हैज ऑल बीन देयर एक्सपोर्ट्स के चैलेंजेस क्या हैं एक्सपोर्ट्स तो लो है आपने देखा बड़े बड़े फैक्टर्स हैं and we all must export Pakistan ने कहाँ excel नहीं किया now talking tangibly this is what I talked intangible हमने exports में excel नहीं किया China I studied at the Beijing also Beijing Institute of Technology for some time and one of the foreigner he told me he was a Gora he told me कि Chinese vending machines छोटी छोटी ना बंदर एक टक टक करके बजाता था एक घड़ी होती थी और एक पेंसिल और एक रबर they started exporting those petty items to the world and they built upon now they are thinking of exporting an aircraft their commercial airliner aircraft is ready to sell it is only because Americans are not at terms ICAO International Civil Aviation Organization is not certifying that aircraft. Otherwise, they'll compete and beat Boeing and Airbus and other freighter. So they are ready to sell now the most sophisticated technologies, and they have their first quantum satellite sent to the air 3 years ago when I was there. So just see that selling pencils and rubbers and the needles and those spitty monkeys, beating the drum, have taken them up and up and up because they had their focus on exports. If this is a room, and we all try and eat a piece of food that is there in a specific quantity, हमारे पास से 10 किलो आलू और हम उनको खाते रहते हैं, क्या होगा? खत्म हो जाएंगे. It is very important to sell to the others and get the dollars in. So if you have export surplus, that is the real growth. Ye plot selling, buying, internal economy, cash flows, they are subservient to the exports. So your prime focus should have been exports for the last 70 years, which has not been there. अभी एक opportunity निकली है और फिर क्या हुआ? है जुर्मे ज़ईफ़ी की सजा, मर्गे मफाजात. फिर क्या हुआ? फिर ये हुआ कि हम एक्सपोर्ट कर ही नहीं सकते. हमने उनके क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स को नहीं मीट कर सकते. हम दुनिया में कॉस्ट कंपटीशन को नहीं मीट कर सकते. हम बाकी टेक्नोलॉजी के चैलेंजेस हैं उनको नहीं मीट कर सकते. तो हम कैसे एक्सपोर्ट करें? एंड देयर केम डिसरप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज टू आवर रेस्क्यू, व्हिच इज आईटी. ये एक चीज है जो यहां इस कमरे में बना के हम भेज सकते हैं, एंड इट विल डेफिनेटली बी चीपर देन somebody making the same product there sitting in Europe or in America, because he'll be charging in dollars and we're charging in rupee. So वो एक चीज है जो हम बना के भेज सकते हैं, जिसके ऊपर कोई प्रोडक्ट नहीं लगना, जिसके लिए कोई सोफिस्टिकेटेड इनपुट नहीं आना, जिसने फिर शेप नहीं होना और जिसकी हम कंपटीशन नहीं करना. तो एक्सपोर्ट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, और ये इंटरनल फैक्टर्स हैं जो कि एक्सपोर्ट्स को इंपीड करते हैं. डोमेस्टिक यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी इज वेरी वेरी लो. आवर पीपल आर नॉट टेक सेवी. आवर पीपल आर नॉट. मर्सिडीज जर्मन्स बनाते हैं, मर्सिडीज दुनिया में ना बिकती अगर जर्मन्स खुद उसको यूज ना करते. एंड आई मेट अ जर्मन एंड वी वाज, एक मर्सिडीज का टावर है जिसके सामने वो उनका स्पोर्ट्स ग्राउंड है, उसके ऊपर चले गए थे हम. एंड आई जस्ट आस्क्ड अ जर्मन, व्हाट इज द सक्सेस स्टोरी ऑफ मर्सिडीज? ही वाज कंडक्टिंग मी, ही वाज कैरिंग मी अराउंड. उसने मुझे बड़ा अजीब जवाब दिया. ही टोल्ड मी दैट व्हेनेवर यू बुक अ मर्सिडीज और उसके शोरूम पे जाके अगर आपको 40 क्वालिटीज बताएगा इस कार की, जब एक्चुअल गाड़ी आपके पास आएगी उसमें 45 क्वालिटीज होंगी. Mercedes will always supersede your expectations out of that car. Mercedes will always surprise you with the goodness that you will get at your doorstep for your money. So that is how Mercedes got sold, and then the Audi, and then the other and the other. See, so domestic use of technology is very, very important for us to sell technology abroad. If we are good and savvy at these tech things, people will say Pakistan is a tech country. What is Latvia and Lithuania? They're as small as Peshawar city. They're as small as Peshawar city. And they have lesser, 1/4 of the population of the Peshawar city. But they are tech savvy and they have a sizable exports. What is Vietnam? Number of times, मैं अपना खुद आपको बताता हूँ, I got an opportunity from the UN to visit Vietnam and I avoided कि मैं वियतनाम जाके क्या करूँगा. It's not worth the place to visit. And Vietnam की IT exports 100 plus, there's a figure plus of $100 billion for the last years. You see, so domestic use of technology is very important. National capacity, connectivity, productivity, and it's all you. It's all you. These are the points for you because you're sitting in National Incubation Center. You're trying to do something. You're trying to find some way out. Keep these aspects in mind. Try to overcome them and you will succeed. Unsteered resource pool, base abrasion, बड़े अच्छे IT का graduate दुनिया में मिल नहीं रहा. Japanese want 100,000 IT graduates from Pakistan. Germans को 80,000 बंदा चाहिए. Americans want, they're recruiting online onto the Turing and no-code platforms. वो आके बंदे हायर कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में. There's a lot of demand for the IT people. और हमारे IT वाले दुकान खोल के बैठे हैं. So there is unsteered. उनको गाइड ही करने वाला कोई नहीं, खुद भी नहीं देखते. They don't want to go online and see what are the opportunities for them. They don't want to think. They just want to sit at a shop and waste the kind of education that they have received and investment that has gone into it, and the opportunity which is available abroad for them or in the Pakistan. It's a base separation, undefined training, employment, grooming cycle. My universities is काम को नहीं कर सकी. We don't know how to train and then groom and then launch. It is just like launching a rocket. How important launching a rocket is, you know, when you send a spacecraft to the space, how important that is. There are thousands of checklists. कितना important है एक spacecraft को space में भेजना. हजारों के हिसाब से checklist हैं, वो बनता है, उसका वजन कितना है, material कैसा है, temperature में कैसे होगा, initial जब वो thrust cross करेगा exosphere की, पहले thermosphere की, फिर mesosphere की, तो उस पे क्या असरात होंगे, उसको कैसे, हजारों चेकलिस्टें और हर चेकलिस्ट 100 पॉइंट की है. इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है एक स्पेसक्राफ्ट को लॉन्च करना, और एक ह्यूमन को लॉन्च करना उससे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक आदमी उससे ज्यादा कीमती है. You know how many checklists we have on the aircraft? I'm a commercial pilot. I've flown also. Now they're less because computer has come to the rescue. Otherwise, pre-takeoff checklist 15 point, pre-taxi checklist 15 point, takeoff के immediate बाद की checklist 15 point, cruising height के altitude के ऊपर 15 point. So there are 135 points under the computer, otherwise more than that you care for while flying an aircraft in the air. Aircraft कीमती है कि इंसान कीमती है? Do we have a checklist at the university? Do we have a checklist at the home? कि इतना इंसान ये इसको दुनिया में भेज रहे हैं, इसने काम करना है, इसने कमाना है, बहुत से इंसानों का भला करना है. उस इंसान को हम लॉन्च कर देते हैं और रॉकेट की तरह भी लॉन्च नहीं करते, उसको बिल्कुल ही वो कुछ और ही बना के छोड़ देते हैं, वो बेड़ा गर्क करना शुरू हो जाता है. So humans are very important. Intellectual capital is very important, and we don't have, right? And you know, impediments, legal dispute resolution, EOD, right? This we talked about, and now these are the internal and external challenges that we talked about. When we go out to the world, there are different challenges. What are they? Global perception. What is the overall global perception? अगर मैं यहाँ मुल्कों के नाम लेना शुरू करूं, तो आपके दिमाग में सबसे पहली बात क्या आएगी? Say for example, मैं कहता हूं घाना, तो आपके ज़हन में क्या आया है? Anybody? Africa. चलो. Poverty, right? I say Germany. What has come to your mind? Exports. Cars. I say Japan. What has come to your mind? Technology. I say China. Cheap labor. India. IT. Canada. तेजी से कहना है. Canada. UK. London. Pakistan. What else? What else? So you see, if these are our own perceptions, what about the global perceptions? Just see, एक मुल्क की image होता है, एक मुल्क का perception तो first आता है. That should come right first in your mind, and that what takes you. मेरे सामने 4 products पड़े हैं, 1, 2, 3, 4. They may be juicer, they may be blender, they may be TV, they may be chair. कहते हैं जापान का है, this is German, this is American, this is Pakistani. Which one you will buy? Which one you will buy? Anybody? German. Anybody else? Right? There's one name for Pakistan and rest all the remaining world. So that's global perception, branding, marketing, and trust. Somebody who should buy your product should trust you. यार पाकिस्तानी chair है, ये नहीं खराब हो सकती. This was there. I went to a home in Belgium, and the elder man who invited me for a meal, he showed me Pico cycle, an old Pico cycle in his garage. That was the trust you enjoyed. Then is competitiveness. Then international collaborations, We have no international collaborations. Sare dushman, sare bigade mein, sara kuch kiya. Right? This is the global dynamics of the business. दुनिया में आपने कारोबार करना है, आपके पास, if this is a shop and somebody walks in to buy maybe this microphone and everything, how should I treat him? मैंने उसको कैसे बात करनी है? Should I be fighting to him? Should I tell him, काफर के बच्चे दफा हो जाओ यहाँ से? Should I tell him he has come to buy? रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने तो ऐसे नहीं किया. उन्होंने तो काफिर को भी इंसान समझा, मुसलमान को भी इंसान समझा. वो I don't know, animals की भी रिस्पेक्ट की. We are, I don't know from where, किस दीन को लेके चले, किधर क्या समझ आई, क्या अकल आई. We have rogered everything. So, external factor, innovativeness, technical edge, interest of MNCs and global power politics, they are also very important. I don't want to deliberate upon this, somehow related. They're different, but aesthetically, in essence, they're related to what I have said. So I just want to skip them because we have to move ahead. Global business, internal factors, stability and continuation of policy, this political stability, taxation की policy, company thrive कर सके, company को loan मिल सके. I'm a very big company. I ran a company, and number of times I needed cash to pay my employees because the input, the bills were coming late. They were late. Somebody that I used to do work for was not paying me, and I had to pay my employees. So I needed loan, but it was so difficult. You have to pledge a property. He will not look at the size of business you have. I had around 350 employees. He was not worried about, he wanted me to show him a plot or a house to be pledged for getting the loan. Just a cash for maybe 10 or 15 or 20 days or months time. So that is what the continuation of policy has to play. Growth ecosystem is very important. Growth begets growth. Positivity begets positivity. And you all know, love begets love. And now let me add, business begets business. Growth begets growth. Technology begets technology. Intellectual capital, intelligent people begets intelligent people. You have to live in an environment that is nourishing and flourishing. आप जाके जानवरों के साथ रहना शुरू कर दें, आप में जानवरों की खसलत पैदा हो जाएगी. Somebody you just go and visit a buffalo farm or a cow farm, the gentlemen or horses, जो होते हैं, साइस होते हैं, आप जाके किसी से मिलें, they will have habits like साइस. You ought to have a company and an ecosystem that is growth prone. जहाँ आप रोज उन लोगों को मिलें, जहाँ आपसे ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग, आपसे ज्यादा एक्सपोज लोग हैं, आपका प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग शुरू हो जाएगा. एंड जब आप अपने से कम इंटेलेक्ट के लोगों के साथ बैठेंगे, आपका प्रोसेस ऑफ डी लर्निंग शुरू हो जाएगा. सो लाइकवाइज इज द ग्रोथ इकोसिस्टम. हमने इकोसिस्टम को ग्रोइंग पे लगाना है. कहीं को प्लाजा बनता है और उसके अंदर कोई एक ब्रांड आ जाता है तो सारी दुकानें चलना शुरू हो जाती हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट ट्रिगर्स द ग्रोथ इकोसिस्टम. इट इज नॉट सक्सेस ऑफ अ सिंगल मैन. एक मोहल्ले में एक घर साफ हो जाएगा तो मोहल्ला साफ नहीं होगा, सारे को साफ होना पड़ेगा. सो इट्स एन इकोसिस्टम. Let the growth begets growth. Let help each other in growing. Tech ecosystem. Technology begets technology, as I said earlier. National tax standards, which we are trying to make, but they are lacking. There are issues with the national tax standards. But I say is right. To me, 220 volts is bad. Although we haven't standard electricity, 220 volts and 6 amperes and 60 hertz की हमारी 50 hertz की हमारी frequency है. But then other areas में हमने technological standards अभी तक define ही नहीं किए. There is no security standard. There is no personal data protection standard. There is no social media usage standard. There is no other standards, So we lack in national. Socioeconomic conditions are very, very important, Unless you're filled at the tummy. मैं पंजाबी में बाबा बुल्ले शाह का शेर सुनाता हूँ आपको. उन्होंने फरमाया 5 रुकन इस्लाम दे ते 6वां होया टुक. जे ना होवे टुक ते 5 ही जांदे मुख. He said, if you are empty stomach, you'll not be able to perform better prayers. You'll not be able to give away zakat. You'll not be able to perform Hajj or Umrah, You ought to be filled in tummy. So socio-economic conditions are very, very important for a system to thrive and go up. And there is a system of global independence. I'm sorry for this busy slide, but you see, say, for example, I may start from here. The France and Italy, when they collaborate, they attain 73 score in terms of exports and in terms of their business opportunities, because there's a cooperation between the two countries, France and Italy. But when the Switzerland join hands along with the Belgium and Netherlands, you see the score goes up to 81. And these two clusters joining each other, the score goes to 98. Likewise here, you see China and Venezuela 67%, but then Argentina and Chile coming up, 70%, and then Brazil and Mexico, and so there certain scores are higher. Malaysia and Mexico 100%. वो इसकी intricacy में मैं नहीं जाता, ये बड़ी complex diagram है, but just telling you that when you collaborate internationally, the countries collaborate with the countries. You have free economic zones, like you have ASEAN, like you have, Euro zone, Euro Commission, EU, then like you have a North Atlantic treaties. So those add to your business, and they add to your global independence and your overall score of survivability in your business environment, right? We have an industry value chain. We have freelancer ecosystem. This is at par with the startup ecosystem like you people are. The difference between freelancer ecosystem and the startup ecosystem is that the freelancer is an individual, whereas startup can be a group of individuals. Then you have a startup ecosystems. Then you have a company ecosystem. And then you have a MNC and M&E ecosystems. So a freelancer, when crosses a certain threshold of his earnings, say beyond $1,000 or say beyond $6,000, he must transform either into a company or into a startup, which is not happening. The number of startups that we have at the moment, some registered, some unregistered, some working formally, semi-formally onto the established platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, and others. But some doing like on Facebook for the home domestic sellings and all that, they are not transforming into the startup ecosystems. And startup ecosystems at worst are transforming into the company ecosystem, but none of the Pakistani company ecosystem transformed onto an MNC or MNE. Even the System Limited, number one exporter of the IT and services in Pakistan, cannot be truly called as an MNC, a multinational company. It has its offices. Number of our companies have their offices offshore, and number of offices, maybe 51 offices and 24 offices, a number of offices offshore Pakistan. But then they have not been able to truly become a multinational company and multinational enterprise. So our aim, being a startup or being a freelancer or being here somewhere at the starting point, should be to reach this place, because that's the complete cycle. अगर हम कहीं रास्ते में घूम जाते हैं, so that is not a good part. And what is an MNC? MNC is the one that dictates policies to the nations. MNCs are the one that are stronger, at par with the nation states in the modern world, right? With thousands of employees overseas and billions of dollars earned for themselves to be brought home. So had we got a single true MNC, we could have got hundreds of billions of dollars per year coming to Pakistan. So that is why I call my bigs as non-MNCs rather than true MNCs. Global tech business, these are somehow I talked about earlier, so let me just skip this slide and have interesting slides ahead. Right, this is for you all to look at. दुनिया ने पैसे खर्च करने हैं, दुनिया ने IT में इन्वेस्ट करना है. Size of the IT sector in the world is around $13 trillion as of today. It has grown from $11 trillion to $13 trillion. And $13 trillion के अंदर जो pure IT and software का component है, it is around 7.3 or 7.4 trillion dollars. Little more than half is purely IT and software that can be created in Pakistan. एंड पाकिस्तान की आबादी जो है दुनिया का 3% है. ये 3% ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एज पॉपुलेशन and 4% of the world as youth. So our share, the Pakistan's share out of the global share of the IT and services should at least be 3%. And 3% of the $7 trillion is $210 billion. So हमारी IT and software exports कहाँ होनी चाहिए? $200+ billion पे. हैं कहाँ? $2.6 billion पे. So we are hundreds of times short of our target. And that is why, so there's a lot of opportunity out there. You see 2023 में spending, data center systems, 4.7% growth rate. Enterprise softwares, 11.9. None of us is working on enterprise softwares. They're needed. Devices, IT services, only 8.8% growth rate. Communication services, 2.2%. And overall IT, around 5% growth rate. Now add, just imagine, 5% of $13 trillion. Right? It's around something less than $1 trillion. Maybe around $600-700 billion. So $600-700 billion का space हर साल create हो रहा है. $600 billion की market हर साल नई आ रही है. It is for us to go and tap it. If you're not going and tapping it, it will not come and request us कि please आप आ जाएं अयूब साहब और ले लें. We have to go and showcase our products. We have to establish international linkages. We have to talk to the people abroad, but talk in certain terms. कि जी मैं काम करके दूंगा, 15 तारीख को मैं काम करके दूंगा. What is happening to us? हमारे कुछ freelancers जो हैं, they are bringing bad name also. हमारी base erosion हो रही है. मैंने वहां बात नहीं की. Amazon पे क्या हुआ? 1200 accounts को blacklist कर दिया गया. So when we are going out there, we ought to go with the competence, with the truthfulness, with the honesty. When I say I will deliver this product with these kind of functionalities on 15th of March, it should be 10th of March rather than 20th of March. मैं उसको deliver करूं, तो मैं business capture करूंगा. $600 billion का business आ रहा है, बंदा है नहीं. There is no person other than you. These are one of the most targeted markets. We have a cheap labor here. We have a better youth here. We have a technology savvy people now. We don't have technology in land as much in use as it should be, but then people can deliver. So where we are lacking in our orientation. See the market size. Now see this also another way to look at. These green are the high growth regions in IT and services. And Pakistan is one of those. You see, there's a high growth potential in these regions, meaning thereby at least $600 billion का जो नया business आना है अगले साल, उसमें से most 80% of the business in regions में जाएगा. Australia, India, China, Pakistan, you know, major players ही होंगे. अभी हमारी वो है, oh, this is world, this is a global map. This is not by me. This is the modern intelligence which is surveying this and saying the world is asking you, despite all that negatives जो मैंने बताए, सारे मसाइल के बावजूद, सारी shortcomings के बावजूद, सारी limitations के बावजूद, world is you are the hot favorite of the world. This is the region. So it is up to us. And मैंने कहा कैसे होगा? We have to establish linkages. We have to offer services. We have to showcase. We have to catch the business. This is a ready, low-hanging fruit for us to pluck and eat. Just see, this is an old part of the picture that I have. We have grown from here to here, 25,000 graduates, very, very less. अच्छा, वापस मैं अपनी उसी बात पे आता हूं. अगर हम अपना share pick करें, which should be $200+ billion, और हर बंदा अगर $25,000 कमाने वाला हम बना लें, तो 7 million people are required right now in Pakistan to work in the industry. जो existing पाकिस्तान की software industry है, उसके अंदर तकरीबन 25,000 लोगों की कमी है. And what is happening? हमारे जो IT में ग्रेजुएट कर रहे हैं, कंप्यूटर सॉफ्ट में ग्रेजुएट कर रहे हैं, कंप्यूटर सिस्टम में ग्रेजुएट कर रहे हैं, वो काम ही नहीं कर रहे। वो जाके कुछ और करना शुरू, कुछ टीच करना शुरू कर देते हैं, कुछ स्कूल खोल लेते हैं, कुछ दुकान खोल लेते हैं। So just see, 600,000 professionals are existing and 6 million professionals are required. And इसके ऊपर वो ऐड करें जिन लोगों ने बाहर चले जाना है। So around 10 million, 10 करोड़ लोग अगर आप ला सकें इस साल मार्केट में, they will all get employment. They will all get jobs. This much of a space is there. 63% youth and all that. Right? This is a global innovation index. आप देखें, if we are sitting here on the same chair and we are happy that chair बड़ी जबरदस्त है, तो फिर तो वही chair बड़ी जबरदस्त है, फिर नई chair की जरूरत क्या है जी? फिर तो innovation is very important for growth. ये नीचे GDP growth है and ये innovation index है, global innovation index. थोड़ी सी मैं इस पे बात करूंगा। जितना आप इनोवेट करेंगे, इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट्स लाएंगे, नए प्रोडक्ट्स लाएंगे, नई चीजें लाएंगे, ऐसी चीजें लाएंगे जो लोगों के मसाइल को हल करें। मुझे मसला है अपने ड्राइवर को बुलाने में, से फॉर एग्जांपल, तो मेरे पास कोई ऐसी डिवाइस हो कि जब मैं दरवाजे की तरफ चलना शुरू करूं ड्राइवर को कॉल चली जाए। दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम। देयर आर अबाउट more than 20 softwares needed in this room. For example, there is some thermosensor needed to cool the places which are less cool, or to indicate it to somebody outdoor that if I'm feeling hot, which is the place to sit for me to be more cool, and if I'm feeling cool, which is the place for me to sit here in this room to be feeling little hotter. With regards to the temperature, there is no seating plan. There is no organization. There is no energy economization, right? There is no environment changing. This environment should change. Virtual environment की तरफ दुनिया चली गई है. While sitting here, I should enjoy as if I'm sitting outdoor. And while sitting here, I should enjoy as if I'm sitting at night. And when I feel like I'm sitting at day, even if it be the night time. So those kind of 25-26 software तो इस कमरे में चाहिए. So unless we innovate, we cannot grow. जहाज तो बन चुका. अभी जहाज के इस्तेमाल में क्या नहीं जिद्दत लानी है. जिद्दत is the right word, right? And most of the time I keep thinking what the innovation is. जिद्दत पसंद है ये दुनिया. So the more innovation, I still don't know whether it's the right translation or not, but the more the innovation will grow, the more the logarithmic scale पे है ये, क्योंकि actual scale पे तो ये ऐसे करके चढ़ जाएगा, तो logarithmic पे बनाया है. Just see, you will have more growth rate because innovative items will sell. अगर वही छतरी जो चाइना बना रहा है और 200 रुपए में बेच रहा है, वही छतरी मैं बनाऊंगा, तो मैं 200 रुपए में नहीं बेच सकूंगा, because China is a better country than me. China is a better brand than me. या तो उस छतरी को 100 रुपए में बनाऊं, नहीं बन सकेगी, या कुछ नया बना दूं, उसी छतरी को कुछ ऐसा कर दूं जो एग्जिस्टिंग छतरी मसला नहीं हल कर रही और वो छतरी हल करना शुरू कर देते. छतरी will sell. That shoes will sell, that shirt will sell, and of course that IT product will sell, but unless we innovate. So we have to rise. If we cannot, we don't have investments and we don't have other things and we have all the problems, there can be one solution to all the problems. And what is that? Innovate more, apply your mind more, add quality, add value, add ingenuity of mind, and still you will grow. This is the graph which is justifying. ये मुख्तलिफ countries का score है, उनका innovation score है और ये उनका score. So these are the bigs, US, Japan, others. You see, so they just by innovation की वजह से वो कितना grow कर रहे हैं, कितनी उनकी economy grow करी, ये सिर्फ innovation करके. कोई जरूरत नहीं dollars लाने की और ये करने की और ताना करने. Just innovate, you will still rise, right? So that's the formula. These are the 7 pillars of the global innovation index. किस पे चलता है? पाकिस्तान ये बीच में ये देखो ब्लू कलर, दिस इज द पाकिस्तान, ये अंदर करके इट्स अ स्पाइडर चार्ट, और ये टॉप 10 का ये है, ये देखो. सो दे आर नियरिंग हंड्रेड्स एंड वी आर अराउंड 50 इंस्टीट्यूशंस. क्रिएटिव आउटपुट, योर प्रोडक्ट शुड बी क्रिएटिव. नॉलेज एंड टेक्नोलॉजी आउटपुट्स, बिजनेस सोफिस्टिकेशन, मार्केट सोफिस्टिकेशन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ह्यूमन कैपिटल एंड रिसर्च. So you see, only for the institutions we have a little better score. Everybody has a better score because university banti ja rahi hai and they become sources of earning. But you see on the other side, we are lacking towards knowledge and technology outputs. There are no knowledge outputs. सिर्फ पेपर लिखना शुरू कर दिया हमने और सारे डॉक्टर बना दिए. End of the day पे डॉक्टर साहब को पता ही नहीं उसने करना क्या है. Similarly, just see market sophistication. We have least sophisticated market in Pakistan as well as abroad. हर बंदे ने कॉल सेंटर बनाया है. But just see हमारे पाकिस्तानी कॉल सेंटर को क्या बिजनेस मिल रहा है. अमेरिकन बिजनेस सबसे पहले अमेरिका में जाता है. नॉर्थ अमेरिका का बिजनेस सबसे पहले नॉर्थ अमेरिका में ही रहता है, वहीं के लोग बिजनेस करते हैं. वो उठा के यूरोपियंस को दे देते हैं. दे सबलेट देयर बिजनेस टू द यूरोपियंस. यूरोपियंस देन सबलेट देयर बिजनेस टू इंडियंस एंड ऑस्ट्रेलियंस एंड अदर्स. और हमारे पास ऑस्ट्रेलिया से और इंडिया से बिजनेस आ रहा है. So we are getting business at 1, 2, 3 and 4th tier. तो हमारे पास बचेगा क्या, खाएगा क्या, लगाएगा क्या, right? That is what the issue is, right? Infrastructure में, of course, we cannot do. Human capital research में, you see, we are so low, below 25. हम human capital में invest नहीं कर रहे. पढ़ाई भी जा रहे हैं, डिग्रियां भी लोग ले जा रहे हैं, लेकिन वो क्वालिटी नहीं आ रही. बिकॉज पढ़ाने वाला उस तरह से इंटरेस्ट नहीं ले रहा है, उस तरह से इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा. हम सब भी नहीं सीखना चाहते. पीपल आर इन 20, आई कैन टेल यू, व्हेन आई वाज इन क्रोएशिया, एक दिन मैं एक स्कूल विजिट कर रहा था और 7-8 साल का बच्चा होगा. I thought कि वो स्कूल में, because it was a war zone and then you know people were rehabilitating, so I had to go and visit the schools and all that. I was visiting a school and 8-9 साल का बच्चा होगा, if I remember correctly. He was attempting a paper and he was struck and he was my neighbor also. So मैंने उससे कहा कि तुम्हें समझ नहीं आ रही तो इससे just get some help in understanding the question. I just tried to explain him. I knew very little Croatian, so whatever I knew, with the help of the interpreter, I tried to tell him कि इससे help ले लो सवाल को समझने में. You know, he shivered. वो लरस गया. He said, "You are telling me to cheat?" 9 साल का बच्चा. वो लरस गया कि मैं उसको चीटिंग का कह रहा हूं. यहां आप टोटल चीटिंग पे चल रहे हैं. In Karachi, you see SSC exams, HSC. What are we fooling? Whom are we fooling? हम किसको बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं? अपने आप को. आपने देखा कभी सांप अपने बच्चों को खा जाता है? This has happened in this nation. हम अपने आप को खा रहे हैं. किसको बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं? I don't know. Somebody, I was a duty officer. I'm a civil servant, so I was duty officer in one of the parliament houses. I don't want to name the gentleman. He rose up and he said, "Balochistan का हक दे दो, फलाने का हक दे दो, फलाने का हक दे दो." भाई, मैं जॉर्जिया टेक में पढ़ने जब गया, I had to score on GRE. I had to score on TOEFL. क्या वो मेरी जगह आके कोई और एग्जाम दे के गया? Pull them up. उनको को आगे आओ, बजाय कि इनको को पीछे चले जाओ. इसको पीछे कर दो, उसको पीछे कर दो, उसको पीछे. We have negative and regressive tendencies rather than positive and progressive tendencies. We have to change this. You will take this message back home. All of us will take this message and we'll tell our people that let's give up those regressive tendencies and let's be progressive, be positive. Let's be learning, you see. So that is human capital and research, you see, infrastructure market. ग्लोबल इनोवेशन कैसे आएगी? ये 7 पिलर्स है, इसके आपके सामने मैंने रख दी. These are again the 7 pillars. These are our scores for those who have some idea. The best score is number 1. We are 70th, you know, 117, 120 market sophistication में, human capital 117 out of very few countries. Just see. This is prosperity index. Global में एक prosperity index भी देखा जाता है. Just have a look at it. That we have safety and security 150%, personal freedom 125th, you know, governance 124th, social capital 133rd, you know, and likewise education, natural environment is 0, you know, 167th. And the recent floods have taken us more back, you know. Nobody will like to come and invest in a place where there are floods every time and where everything gets destroyed. Health, you know, living conditions, you know, economic quality, infrastructure, likewise. This is prosperity index. These are a number of other parameters, living conditions, health, education. Just see Pakistan, not beyond 50, less for health and living conditions somehow. Not that good, but some of the localities have come up like Baria, DHA, CHA, and there's some living conditions. Otherwise, below average living conditions हैं हमारे बहुत से urban areas में. बहुत बुरी हालत है, urban flooding हो जाती है. Rural को तो हालत ही कोई नहीं है. So we have to think of this. I just made this for you just to compare it with India and then United States. United States is here, you see, the red, Pakistan is here. India is in blue, the next one to Pakistan. And then we have Middle East in the green, right? So just see, these are prosperity index. They're very important to invest upon, and see Pakistan overall. I just wanted to plot you just a small little tiny. हमारे indicators ही ठीक नहीं. We have to work for these things. You entrepreneur का सिर्फ ये काम ही होता है कि अपने business को करे. Entrepreneur का काम होता है पूरे ecosystem को. मेरे employees हैं 350. मेरी लीडरशिप का, मेरी इंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का अपने 350 एम्प्लॉइज के ऊपर क्या असर है, उनकी जात पे मैंने क्या इन्वेस्ट किया. तनख्वाह तो वो लेंगे, काम तो वो कर ही देंगे. दैट इज अ वेरी स्मॉल रूटीन पार्ट. हाउ कैन आई मेक देम परफॉर्म बेटर फॉर मी and performing better for their families, for their societies, their environment? It is the responsibility on all of us. Prosperity over time, we have not been able to rise much, you see. 150 2011 से 2021 तक we couldn't just rise much. ये global rising है, just see blue and that's local. Right. Coming back to you people, the sitting in National Incubation Center, just see software development, clerical and data entry. These are the different shades of services needed in the world. See, United States have the largest market, followed by United Kingdom and India, and then Pakistan standing somewhere. But see, for us, for the Asian people, there's a lot of space to cover. The largest space is for the Asians. And amongst the Asians, one of the most favorite nation is Pakistan. So we can work in software development, we can work in creative and multimedia technologies. Some of us are working on TikTok. That is not needed. हम सारे या तो टिकटॉकर बन जाते हैं या फ्रीलांसर बन. That is a very low income. That's a very low return on the investment that should be done. Sales and marketing है उसके बाद, और उसके बाद देखिए writing and translation है, उसका clerical है, और professional service का बड़ा छोटा सा part है. But that's a very rich part. By the value, जिसमें doctors, law experts, engineers शामिल हैं. Although it's a very small service here by volume, this is the volume of the service or the space in the market. But then this is by the value return highest part. Professional services, which is knowledge process outsourcing, KPO, legal process outsourcing, LPO, and business process outsourcing, BPO services. High level ki BPO services, high level ki KPO services, and high level ki LPO services are all professional services. And if we somehow land in this professional zone, these are the high return zones. What is needed, that we need certain applications to be built. Say, for example, there's a lot of legal consultative process in the Middle East, which is very, very costly. लोग ये जानना चाहते हैं कि मैंने license कैसे बनाना है when I don't have my visa remaining for 1 month. This is the question. And for that, it pays 100 dirham to a law expert, and he just advised him. उसने वो जाके वहां पे जो expatriates हैं दुबई में, वो जाके कोर्ट्स में रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर सकते. They just provide legal advice. वो legal advice अगर हम यहां से देना शुरू कर दें, for a smaller amount, people will love to get it. So they are highly, इस तरह medical services हैं. Already हमारी Cure MD काम कर रही है, but that's again medical transcription and low end है. Medical में high end भी जाया जा सकता है. You get the details of the patient, that is his medical history, his vital signs, his test reports, form an initial opinion and send it back to the specialist or super specialist. तो क्या होगा, super specialist का जो time है, he is seeing 5 patients, he'll be able to see 10 patients, and he'll be able to share that bounty with you back here. So जो ये services हैं, highly paid services, and of course software and development technology again has a lot of space because of the innovation. There can be an innovation service or innovative product which can sell out of proportion. An example is right in front of you. उसने simple एक software बनाया जो right size करता है. You just take your picture with your cell phone, and it will give you the size of your shirt and the trouser and the collar and the length of your arm, and that's about all. वो Meta वाले ने $35 million में खरीद लिया. So उसमें भी space जो है unpredictable है, provided you innovate, you know how to innovate and then how to sell. And selling के लिए सबसे पहले मैंने क्या बताया, you have to engage international clients. हमारा तल्लुक ही नहीं, हमने किसी बात ही नहीं की कभी. We don't say, for example, if I have to ask you which area you are working, if you're working in gaming, have you talked to somebody in gaming in Germany? He'll say no. If you're working in, say, for example, fintech, have you talked to somebody working in the fintech in the Middle East? He'll say no. If you're working in another area, say, for example, knowledge technology, edutech, have you talked to somebody across the continent, across the Atlantic Ocean, in North America? He will say no. If no, how will you get business? You have to engage with the people, understand, and then, understand the requirements of those markets. मैं इस्लामाबाद में रहता हूँ, मैं कराची में रहता हूँ, मैंने आपका प्रोडक्ट कराची में इस्तेमाल करना है. Do I need this air conditioner with reverse capability? There's no cold weather there, so I don't need any reversible air conditioner in Karachi, maybe, right? Or maybe I'm living in Sakhar or something. Forgive me for the wrong example because there's some cold now in Karachi. But if I'm living in Sakhar, I'll not be needing an air conditioner which is reversible for the cold. But when I'm living in Skardu, will I be needing this air conditioner which cools down? No, I'll need a heater. So you have to understand and assess the requirements of the market that you want to engage and deliver a product as per their requirement. This necktie is worn here, but when you go to Iran, nobody wears the necktie. So if you go and sell the necktie to Irani people, will they buy? They will not buy for sure, right? So that is how suitability of the market, requirement of the market, understanding of the market is a prerequisite for you to develop the product first. So what is the life cycle of the product I'm missing here? Is you develop the product first and then make that product competitive. पाकिस्तान में पंचर ना होने वाला टायर जिसके अंदर 50 प्लाईज हो, वो मैं ले आता हूं बेचने के लिए. वो टायर कितने का होगा? वो टायर तो $200 का होगा. 4 टायर कितने के पड़ेंगे? $800 के पड़ेंगे, $1000 के पड़ेंगे. तो क्या 2.5 लाख रुपए के टायर मुझसे कोई खरीदेगा? Will somebody buy that 2.5 lakh वाला टायर? No. This market is not meant for those tires. But कुछ सस्ता टायर लेके मुझे दे दे जो 2000 रुपए में मुझे मिल जाता है. I like to buy it every month. I have more time to waste. And I can always change my tires, but I want cheaper tires, right? So you have to suit the market. There are market sophistications needed. तो आपने market sophistication के साथ बात करनी है. जहां पे market cheaper है, वहां पे cheaper product sell करना है. जहां पे value addition है, वहां पे value addition करनी है, right? These, industry 1, 2, 3, 4 revolutions थे. And we all know the 4th revolution, ये engine से शुरू हुआ, electricity आई, फिर then, transistor आया, और अभी now disruptive technology. But this has gone past. We are into industry 5 revolution. इसको भी हर startup को समझने की जरूरत है. And what is industry 5 revolution? Industry 5 revolution is human centric. I don't want to do anything. और ये बड़ा जालिम रेवोल्यूशन है. इसके साथ हमने मैच ना किया तो हम पीछे रह जाएंगे. It's a very, very tricky revolution. And what this is called in the techno term, anybody knowing? Well, of course, artificial intelligence, but generally it is called think done. I'm just thinking that I want to eat pizza, and my device should order the pizza and pay for it and get it here when I'm ready to eat. Say I'm thinking that I should be needing a pizza to eat in next half an hour. There should be my assistant, digital assistant, doing all this for me. After half an hour, pizza should be ready. I'm thinking, say, to book a ticket to go to Dubai Jitex next month. It should trigger up and only ask for me that it has booked the ticket. This is the cheapest ticket. This is the airline. This time is the departure. This time is the arrival. So do I want to buy? I will say yes or no, or more options, and that's about all. So this is the revolution. And the pizza wala at the back doesn't want any human employee to make a pizza. He wants a robot. This machine has talked to that machine to machine interaction. And that robot gets into action. He prepares the dough and then the garnishing and all that, puts there and puts that into the baking machine. And it comes out. And there's a drone waiting to get that pizza, fly that here somewhere, and there's another robot here bringing that and serving me on the table. This is Industry 5 revolution. Least human interaction, machine to machine interaction, cognitive technologies in truth. We talked about cognitive technologies under Industry 4 revolutions, and they were non-human centric. We talked of cognitive radios and others and others and others, and intelligence and AI and ML. But this AI and machine learning is at work into semi-human systems. It's a human-centric revolution. You have to fulfill the wishes and demands and dreams of the human beings. How can you? Is the beauty of the art, is the science and the art. That is how you ought to develop your product and marketing. These are the differences. I just skip it. Just see an enterprise technology, how it should be. We have not seen any enterprise technology so far in Pakistan. An enterprise technology is end to end. It should fetch you all the needs that you needed decades ago. And it should do all the needs that you can think of in the future. So it's a plethora of developments that has taken place over the years, but there's yet more to come. And it cannot be limited. The world has come to the IoT. The world has come to the sensors. And what the name I gave? Think done. You ought to just think that you need to be snapped maybe in the best of your posture, and the camera must know. It should take 1 million snaps and select the best one and present it to you, or maybe 3, 4, 5 best ones to present it to you. That out of your all the postures and gestures, these are the 5 best pictures that camera could pick. And then you say, okay, this one is good or not, or maybe. So the choice has come to the humans. And see, it's one can talk for hours and hours as to what all is out there. You know, there's a money too, the circular economy, artificial general intelligence. You know, institution too. There's a second generation of institutions coming up, which are virtual institutions, which are high rewarding institutions, which are fast learning institutions. I shall be reading a book. Okay, just let me give you an example. How many time people used to take in designing an aeroplane, an aircraft? Any guess? 10 years ago, how much time was needed to design an aircraft? Any guess? What, how much maybe? Yeah, about 5 to 6, 7 years. 2 successive years were needed to have the tunnel test under the temperatures, you know. सर्दी में कैसे है, गर्मी में कैसे है. सर्दी में विंड लगा के विंड टेस्ट उसको कहते हैं, टनल टेस्ट. 2 years तो ये चाहिए थे, बिकॉज अभी गर्मी गुजर गई, टेस्ट होते होते उसकी लर्निंग रिजल्ट्स आए, समझ आए, तो फिर तो गर्मी ही नहीं है फिर मतलब. So taking it to the hot regions, you know, was difficult, so you test it and then across it. So 7, 8, 9, 10 years were required to design an aircraft from end to end. How much time is needed now? Any guess? Yes, in days. You can come up with a full design of an aircraft, seats, carpet, estimates, line ABTK, heating, cooling, engine, the fuel compartments, you know, total number of, you know, fuselage, you know, wings, you know, avionics, you know, just in days. इतना दुनिया ने bridge कर दिया time को, इतनी fast हो गई है दुनिया. So you see, these new technologies are coming up. I'm sorry, I just clicked it. Institution 2, transport 2. Nobody will own a car. Nobody will own a transport. There'll be self-driving car. You see, logistic internet. There's a specialized internet coming up for the logistic FMCG, fastly moving consumer goods, you know. Food 2, democracy 2, human 2, artificial super intelligence, de-extinction technologies will come on. Extinction will be over, probably because of the recycling. You know, 100 years have gone past the advent of this computer and internet technology. 100 years ho gaye. ARPANET was found in, you know, around 1915 or something, you know, in 2023. By 3035, they had a kind of an internet and everything. So almost 100 years. and a huge revolution has come in. Just imagine what, and I told you how fast things have become. 10 years have gone just into 10 days. The knowledge used to double itself every 100 years. It started doubling itself just 10 years ago, every 10 years. Now it is doubling every second year. The discoveries and new explorations are coming every second year, every same year. So look at the pace with which the technologies are, moving up and faster. So there is a time abridgment. And this time abridgment has to be realized and understood more by people like us. We have to be involved and engrossed in understanding कि उस तेजी के साथ कैसे चलें. अगर चलेंगे उसके साथ तो चल पाएंगे, वरना रह जाएंगे. Right? So this is what the world is, the survival of the fittest. दुनिया में, in the business community, purely business, mathematics है. All the business is mathematics. It is 2 + 2 = 4. कभी ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि मेरा प्रॉफिट 2 हो और मेरा प्रॉफिट 3 हो जाए. No. If I have a profit of 2 rupees over 5 rupees, it will always be 7 rupees that I'll be getting, and it will always be 2 rupees profit. It cannot be 2.5 or 2.1. How can it be? So business is too tricky and too mathematical. It doesn't have any feelings for anybody. It will not compensate you for kind-heartedness. It is, if you keep pace, आज मैं जाके एक नई किस्म की कुर्सी, सस्ती कुर्सी यूरोप में रख देता हूँ, it will sell. कल कोई और ले आएगा, he will sell. I cannot say कि जान बड़ा मैं मुसलमान आदमी हूँ तो बड़ा मैंने. If I have a tasbih and I sit on that chair and start reciting the Durood Sharif, will it sell? World, अल्लाह ताला ने दुनिया का निजाम tangible रखा है. Onto the world, onto the business, laws of nature apply and not the laws of divinity on religion. And laws of nature are very strict. They're mathematical, right? If you sit in the river, you have seen पूरी की पूरी बिल्डिंग वो दरिया में बनाई हुई थी, चूंकि उसका स्ट्रक्चर ठीक नहीं था, वीक बनाई, वो दरिया बहा के ले गया. नेचर ने उसके ऊपर अगर बैठ के चिल्ला भी काट लेते तो वो रुक नहीं सकती थी, बिकॉज नेचर ने अपना काम करना, ये अल्लाह का कानून है. He does not change his words. ला तब्दील कलिमातिल्लाह. He does not change his words. And he has given this right to the nature, where there's a force of 5 Newton meters. These 7 Newton meters will always oversee that force. And that is what the law of nature is. Right? So just have a look at the global information technologies. This again is an old slide, 8 trillion. When we were estimating it to be 8 trillion, it has risen to the $13 trillion. ये 2-4 महीने के अंदर estimate change हो गए. This is my slide 2 months ago that I was estimating it to be at $8 trillion. And I saw a number of websites, and it has gone to $13 trillion. It's amazing. 60% today, 40% of the global economy is overseen by the IT. And by the end of this decade, it will be 60% of the global economy. And by 2050, it will be 80+% of the global economy directly handled by the IT and IT-enabled services. And the remaining 20% will also be indirectly dependent upon IT. So global economy will play in the hands of the IT. And IT people sitting here, learning computer, learning IT, and going and जाके दुकान खोल लेते हैं, आपको उसको चपेट नहीं मारने चाहिए. Just see how stupid we are. We are wasting our youth. What to do now? I've been talking of what to do, but when this is a special part in my presentation that I'll be talking of what to do. It is endless efforts, ये नहीं होता कि मैं 2 दिन काम करके थक जाऊं, तो मैं छोड़ दूं. कंपनी का सिस्टम इसलिए बनाया गया कि इंडिविजुअल्स आते जाते भी रहे तो कंपनियां चलती रहें. कंपनी डज नॉट डाई, इट कीप्स लाइव. वो एक लीगल बॉडी है, लीगल पर्सन है कंपनी, जिसके अंदर 4 बंदों ने बनाई थी. वो 4 बंदे चले जाएंगे, 4 और आ जाएंगे, 2 जाएंगे, 2 और आ जाएंगे, 1 जाएगा. It is endless efforts. We must realize it and we must pass on. We must pass on. We must not keep it to ourselves. If I know something, I have a knowledge piece with me here, somewhere. I must pass it on. I must share it. And this should be an endless effort. Multi-dimensional intervention. हमने innovation भी करनी है. हमने मिन्नत भी करनी है कि हमारी चीज खरीद लो. हमने competitiveness भी दिखानी है, हमने markets भी explore करनी है, हमने cost में भी नीचे रहना है, हमने जोर भी लगाना है, हमने image भी build करना है, हमने branding भी everything possible we need to do in order to succeed, right? Policies, skills, training, and more and more and more and more. You could keep talking of it, but then let me tell you, these are the 9 disruptive technologies we all know. These are very important, cloud and computing, big data, geotech, GIS, AI, RPA, robotic process automation, 3D printing, remote sensors and IoT, blockchain, drones and UAS. Just see that the high income countries are high at all these 9 technologies. Middle income countries are of middle value to these technologies, and low income countries are the one who do not know these technologies. So to say, what is the conclusion? To say these technologies are also defining the status of a country as of today. जितना ज्यादा इन 9 टेक्नोलॉजीज के अंदर कोई कंट्री इन है, उतना वो हायर है इनकम में. So meaning thereby that the income of a country is well derived through these areas. And these are the 9 technologies to invest in and to learn and to work upon, right? So this is the direct formula. इसका मतलब है इन्हीं technologies में space है, इन्हीं technologies का future है, because high income countries are investing higher on these technologies and earning higher out of these technologies. So उनके ecosystem भी ऐसी होंगे, उनकी companies भी ऐसी होंगी, उनकी MNCs भी ऐसी चल रही होंगी, इन्हीं के अंदर specialize कर रही होंगी, right? And then how should we go? अगर मैं कहूं कि मैं यहाँ पे, मैंने सिर्फ यहाँ पे टॉक देनी थी और मैं सोया उठ के आ जाता, तो क्या मैं टॉक दे सकता? Now you as part of the incubation center here, if you just say that you will wake up out of your sleep and you will make a product and that will sell, it will not happen. You're living in fool's paradigm. It's a detailed planning, small start, big steps. And when you take these 2, you'll come across obstacles. Zero kar di jaoge. We'll develop a product, we'll invest on it, we'll spend our nights, we'll spend our days, nobody will buy it. So what? There'll be obstacles. You see, this is the obstacle. There'll be turnarounds. You'll be taken aback. Yaar, shayad main kuch nahi kar sakta, kuch nahi ho sakta, right? Setbacks. Then through collaborations, you will solve this problem. If you alone or a group of people, 3, 4, 5 cannot do it, start collaborating with others. Similar companies, similar people, other technologies. You will overcome these. There'll be losses, there'll be revisits. But at the end, there'll be success, there'll be a finish point. Unless you stop, unless you stop, unless you keep moving across all these obstacles, you will not reach this finish point. So the aim is, or the conclusion is, that you will keep moving, come what may. Come what may, you will meet the success. Ye global history hai, ye global reality, law of nature hai. And we all know stories about it. Try again, right? Try again, and you will succeed. So this works here. You don't have to give up. You don't have to sleep. But you have to do detailed work, complex build-up, determined approach, and more, You have to go into the detailed details. Agar aapne theek product nahi banaya, go again into the design of the product and see where there is a shortcoming and where you can add value to it. You will come across the solution. It is a divine process. You excel for something and you'll get that thing. You aim for something and you'll get that. And this is it. Startups, they grow and scale up and expand and become market leaders. So don't think yourself to be given on. 100% of today's successful entrepreneurs, Sari MNCs, they all, even the Harvard University, they started with a single room. And they never knew how to accommodate the first batch of their undergraduate students. But then they started building another block and a classroom, and they added a schoolroom. They gathered the money. So small starts, all the 100%. Give me a single example of a big international MNC or a big company which started here. No, it started with a startup, as a startup. It grew then, it scaled up then, and then it expanded, and then it became market leader. Did the Microsoft start from here or here or here? No, it started from here. So if you are here and you're starting up and you have an aim to grow and you know where to go, you are right. You're not wrong. This is the right way. This is the right path. That is what you ought to do. But you have to change your approach from reactive to proactive. Don't wait for your failure to come and teach you. The people who wait for the failures and setbacks to come and teach you are the reactive people. They are not made for success. They are not leaders. You ought to be proactive. While you are developing and working on one product, you can always start with another product if you have picked up a good idea. While you are serving at one place, you can always opt for another one when you have an opportunity. So be proactive. Always be on the look and watch for the opportunities. And whenever you get a single slightest opportunity, exploit it. But come what may. So don't have to be reactive. You have to be proactive. This is not for you, so forgive me for not going ahead in history matrix. So time is how much left? Over. So this is talent ecosystem. I can just flash, awareness is very important. Exploration is very important. Development is very important. Connections and upskilling, Do not hesitate getting enrolled into a better class of your field, into a course of your field, exploring a YouTube, good lecture. Do not upskill yourself. Be aware. This upskilling and aware are very, very important. They're in demand. Explore, then develop the products and establish connections. And that is what we call as talent ecosystem. I could have explained it in detail, but then, time compulsions. Innovation ecosystem, the talent ecosystem that I explained earlier leads to the innovation ecosystem. Talent is something that helps you innovate. And that innovation ecosystem goes on to the startup ecosystems, and startup ecosystem goes on to the MNCs and companies and everything that I tried to explain. This is, technology ecosystem is again, got to understand somehow, So what are the conclusions? And what is this first conclusion? Meaning what? Don't aim low. Don't aim low. Agar aap aim hi say, if I start aiming this ball here, will it do the basket? I should be aiming this big board. And within that, this small rectangle or square, whatever. Aim high. You will go. And what is success? It is about dreaming. क्या मतलब इसका? या ख्वाब देखो. To be at some place. Think that you can be at that place. Only then you will plan. अगर आपको idea ही नहीं कि आपने कहाँ जाना है, you will not be able to plan. So you can dream. There is no limitations on dreaming. Dreaming, success is linked to the dreaming. To the plans, you dream, hit upon an idea. That's a dream. Then you plan, then you excel, and then you get it. And then after that you have dreamt. Only dreaming will not work, right? You have to work hard, do your actions in a faster manner, in a competent manner, in order to make the things happen. Dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. Every dream comes true, provided you work for it, do an action, right? And then thinking matters. Keep thinking. Whatever you are doing, keep thinking. Is this right? Is this wrong? Can there be a better way of doing something that you're doing? मैं चाय पी रहा हूँ, कप में पकड़ा हुआ है. Can there be a better way to drink that tea? Yes, there can always be a better way. Let's adopt that better way. मैं ये बात कर रहा हूँ आपके साथ. Can there be a better way? I can talk. Yes, there can always be a better way. There is no end to the perfection. So keep thinking and think green, right? These moving leaves are letting you know that think green. And then speed matters. If you keep thinking and dreaming and thinking and dreaming and doing slow actions, you're gone. Speed matters. You have to think fast, act fast, make things happen fast, rather faster and even faster, right? So that's very important, And technology adoption matters. Make use of technology as much as possible. If you've started thinking faster, you've started dreaming, you've started doing action, and you're not using technology, how lame you are, how helpless you are. This augments your resources, right? And innovation matters. It's very, very important. This chamber up here, the gray matter we call it, right? This has a lot of electricity. This has a lot of electricity. We need to engage it and electrify it, and it'll produce the light of the bulb you see that kid is looking at. Always be ahead of the times. If you are behind the times, you're nowhere. This world, this innovation, this technology is futuristic. We can create our own futures. I have been a student of the future studies, and I was invested by the OIC countries. OIC Comstack got me do a future studies course, that I realized that you can create your own future. There are attainable futures. There are different types of futures. So it has to be futuristic. And this last one I have left for you to caption. So what caption will you give? Okay, one. Yes, ma'am. Connection. Okay. Teamwork. Grow together. Collaborating with each other. Anybody else? Help each other. Anything else? Reaching heights somewhere closer. Okay. What else? Giving confidence. Okay. Yes. Go up. Take the others up. Don't grow downward. Don't collaborate downward. Don't collaborate meaninglessly. Collaborate upward in positive manner. Help each other, yes, in positive manner. Connections, but meaningful connections. All the words you said right, but then upward, you see. With this, we don't have time. This is a beautiful Persian. Sadi Shirazi is an institution. एक बहुत बड़े शायर थे शादी शिराजी, एंड उनके बारे में कहा जाता है कि पीर शो बयामोज़ सादी, बूढ़े हो जाओ जिंदगी पूरी गुजार दो सिर्फ सादी को सीखते हुए, और अगर उनके कलाम को उनको सीख गए और पूरी जिंदगी गुजर गई तो फिर भी तुम विनर हो. इतना विजडम है उनके अंदर. उनका एक शेर है बड़ा मशहूर जो आपने नहीं सुना होगा, मैं आपको सुनाता हूँ. गिले खुशबुए दर हमाम रोजी रसीद दस्त महबूबे बदस्तम बदू गुफ्तम के मुश्की या अबीरी की अजबुए दिलावेज मस्तम. एक दिन कहते हैं मैं एक हमाम, उस जमाने में हमाम वाज वेरी लेविश प्लेस, उसमें गया तो मेरे एक दोस्त ने मुझे थोड़ी सी मट्टी दी, एंड दैट मट्टी नॉर्मल मट्टी थी, उसके अंदर से इतनी जबरदस्त खुशबू आई कि मेरा दिल और मेरी रूह उससे मुतासिर हो गई. तो मैंने उस मट्टी से पूछा, बगदू गुफ्तम के मुश्की या अबीरी, मैंने उससे पूछा कि ए मट्टी, तुम मुश्क हो या अंबर हो? यू डोंट लुक लाइक अ मट्टी. Your fragrance has taken me to a different level, to the level of divinity, to a different height. The magic of your fragrance is making me not to believe that you are just a piece of soil. You're just a mud. That is the beauty of your fragrance. The reply of that piece of the mud or the sand or soil was, Bagufta man gile na cheez budam, walekin muddati ba gul nashistam, Kamale ham nashi dar man asar kard, bagarna man hama hakam ke hastam. It said कि मैं तो एक नीच सी मट्टी ही थी, हाँ, लेकिन बहुत अरसा मैं फूलों के साथ रही, फूलों की मैयत में रही. I stayed with the roses and the flowers of the fragrance. I remained in the company of the elites. I remained in the company of the knowledgeable people. मैं उन लोगों की, उन फूलों की मैयत में रही, कमाले हम नशीं दरमन असरत कर, उनका जो कमाल था, उनका जो नॉलेज था, उनका जो विजडम था, उसने मेरे ऊपर ऐसा असर कर दिया कि मुझे मिट्टी से उठा के क्या से क्या बना दिया। वगरना मन हमा खाकम के हस्तम, लेकिन वरना तो मैं मिट्टी और मिट्टी ही हूं। मेरे अंदर जो कमाल पैदा हुआ है, मेरे अंदर जो आपको मुतासिर कर दिया है, मैंने हिला दिया है, वो मेरा कमाल नहीं है, वो उन बाकमाल लोगों का कमाल है। कमाले हम नशी, मेरे साथ जो बैठे थे उनका दर मन असद कर मेरे पे ऐसा असर किया है कि मेरी हैयत को ही तब्दील कर दिया है। सो सिट विद द पीपल ऑफ नॉलेज, रिमेन in the company of the people of the wisdom. Be with the people who can invest in you. Be with the people who can let you learn. Be with the people who are superior to you in knowledge. Be with the people who will make you understand something that you otherwise cannot. Be with the people of wisdom and eliteness, who are not elite by the political value system or the other values, but elite in terms of their behavior, their leadership qualities. And this will change you. This world, this human system, this human social system is based on learning from the teachers of the quality, the personalities of the quality. The divine has tuned us into the system, and that is why an ultimate quality came to teach us, named Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. With this, I close my today's speech, or the talk that you may call it. And thank you all for listening to me with this care and attention. Please keep me in your prayers, and all the best, all of you.